Incoming transmission.
Picture this. A recording studio somewhere far, far away.
Welcome, Watchers of Illusion, to my Castle of Confusion. It's the 1st of November. Oh dear me, where's the time going? I'm looking at Pinball Fantasies AGA on the Amiga, which was released in 1993. Now, the original was released in 1992. But this one is graphically enhanced. Woohoo! It's always good to have a graphically enhanced game. I love this game. Absolutely loved it. Now, I'm doing these out of sequence, by the way. Pinball Dreams was the first one, and then Pinball Illusions followed this one. But I'm going to be doing this one first, because this is probably my favourite of the three. So, I'm going to show you all the tables. So this might be a longer than usual review, because there are 4 tables in total, and we're going to look at all of them. Now, I'm going to give this table a couple of tries. I love this game. So, you can see that it's a scrolling, vertical scroller. And the controls are very simple. So basically, to fire the ball up into the table, you hold the down arrow key and then you let go, and it pings the ball up into the table. To use your left and right flippers, it's both the shift keys, which is very, very simple, and to shake the table, it's spacebar. And that's basically all you've got to worry about. You can have, I think, up to 8 players on this using the F keys. You can go as many as you want, and you use like a hot seat type scenario. So once you've had your turn and you've lost your ball, then you move on to the next player, they take your seat, and so on and so on and so on until you've finished your game, which is a very simple way of doing things. So you better be, if you're going to have lots of players, make sure that you've got easy access to move on and off your seat. But this is great. Now, I used to play this game with a mate of mine, and the way we used to do it was we'd sit side by side, and one of us would take control of the right flipper, and one would take control of the left flipper, which kind of works really well if you want to have sort of a co-op game. If you've never thought of doing that before, then you're welcome. But yeah, this was done very, very well, in fact, and the tables are very well put together. I don't think there's many tables that I disliked on this one, but we're going to go round anyway and see what they're all about, and I'm going to use up all my balls, excuse the expression, to get us there. So we're looking at the Partyland one at the moment, and you can see the colours are really, really nice. They just stand out, and there's some really nice sort of shading, and you can see that on the different colour schemes there, especially the purple going into the blue on the right hand column there. The AGA version really does pop with the colours. Now, basically, you use the table shake mechanism. If you lose your ball down one of the side columns, you can try and activate the. You try to save your ball by shaking the table. I'll have a go. No, missed. Oh, there we go. It's a bit of an art form doing it that way. To be honest, you've got to time it right and hope that your flipper doesn't bash the ball straight down into the column. Now, I don't know if you guys have played any modern pinball games, but there is a good one on PlayStation 4 at the moment. PlayStation 3, it was on previous to that, which is very good. So you might want to have a look at that. That has a variety of tables also, but I digress. We're on the Amiga version of Pinball Fantasies. Now, this was released on the PC as well, and also Amiga CD32. I'm going to be having a look at that CD-ROM version at some point as well, to see what the differences are. But I imagine it's pretty much going to be the same as this version. Now, the music's very good as well. You can probably hear the tunes blasting away in the background there. But it's very jolly, and it'll keep this game will keep you going for hours. I remember losing lots and lots of time on this game, and I think you will too. If you've not played a pinball game before on the Amiga, this is probably a good one to start with. Pinball Dreams are very good as well. So if you literally haven't played a pinball game, you want to be looking for any of these: Pinball Dreams, Pinball Fantasies, or Pinball Illusions. Doesn't really matter which one you go with because all the tables are different. Apart from this one is basically, like I said, the enhanced graphics version, so there's no real differences apart from it's a lot more colourful. But yeah, if you're interested in your pinball games and you have an Amiga, this is probably one that you'll want to add to your collection. I'll look at the Speed Devils table next. Very simple to swap tables as well. Once you finish your game, press escape and then it'll ask you if you want to swap tables. And you'll see again the presentation of this table is just brilliant. Did I just press 2 players on this? Did I? Oh well. If I have, I have. Just to demonstrate really that you can have more than one player at a time. Well, not at the time, but more than one player active. So you'll take your turn and if you lose your ball, it'll go on to the next player, which is always good. But I think up to 8 players. So if you've got no shortage of friends, then you've got something for everyone. There's a table for everyone as well. You will find your favourites. Oh, how did that happen? I wouldn't have lost it. Damn. Very rare that it'll bounce on the middle column and then back into play, but never mind. I always find pinball games are a little bit hit and miss as far as losing the ball goes. This game can get incredibly fast, so you've got to literally keep an eye on the ball and see what's happening. You can see it's incredibly quick, so sometimes you will lose your ball without even noticing it's gone, just because of the pure speed of things. Now you can slow the game down a little bit by raising up one of the flippers and letting the ball come to rest before you fire it back into the table again. Little gameplay tip for you there. But you know, there's so many different things you can activate on each table as well. There's bonus scores, bonus points to be had. You can even get extra balls. Everything you see it just literally does look like a proper pinball table. It's a very, very good game. They've put a lot of thought and effort into this to make it fun. And you know, pinball for me never been a strong point, but I love this game. And Pinball Dreams and Illusions, they all get my sort of thumbs up and seal of approval. I will be looking at the others as well, by the way. And while I just remember this, thank you very much for the feedback from the Monkey Island 2 video that I put up not so long ago. You guys are awesome, and thanks very much for keeping in contact with me on that. I will be doing the Monkey Island 2 walkthrough, but I think I'm probably going to do it in chapters rather than just doing it all in one go. So I'll start off with the Largo embargo and carry on through. So each episode of the game will be done as a separate vid. I hope you guys will be happy with that. But yes, I will be talking through it. So thank you for the feedback on that. You guys rock. So there we are. I'm doing alright on this table. I'm normally quite bad at these games. And I was bad at doing them back in the day as well. Does anyone find, by the way, that the games that you used to play back in the Amiga days, that they're not quite as easy as you remember them being? I seem to have, I don't know if it's just the fact I'm getting older and my reaction times aren't quite as good as when I was a wee little nipper, but I think sometimes you just feel like these games are a lot harder than I remember them being. Now this is the $1 Billion Gameshow table, which again is quite nice. Look at the layout, the colour schemes on them, absolutely fantastic. The just all the various bonuses that you've got on the tables are just fun to find out what you've got to do. The game doesn't help you out so much in that respect, so you've got to just try and hit everything and then see what lights up and see what it says on the top of the screen. Now I know it's easier said than done because you're concentrating on the ball, you're not really going to be reading the top of the screen. The other thing to take into consideration is the placement of the flippers. Sometimes you'll have flippers at the top of the screen and other times you'll have them just at the bottom, but you will figure out the best thing for those flippers to do when the ball hits them. As you can see there, I managed to flip it over and get it up. So I'm going to try again. Almost went through, but never mind. So all in all, this is a bit of a treat if you had an Amiga 1200 or 4000, which had the AGA chip installed. And if this was one of your favourite games, I need to hear from you. You know, pop in the comments. What was your favourite table? Did you manage to blast to some obscenely high scores? And what were your general thoughts on the pinball scene at the time? Always like to hear from you Amiga enthusiasts or retro gaming fans in general. It's always nice to have you guys commenting on the videos, so thanks very much for taking the time to interact with me. So now I know this game was requested of sorts, because I'd mentioned this in the comments on the Monkey Island 2 vid, and I do believe this was one that one of my lovely viewers out there just hadn't seen before on the AGA version, so I thought I'd do this one. How fluky was that? I've never seen that happen before. Oh, okay. This is only that's another instance where the table tilt will come in handy. I've never had that happen before. That's very strange. Having the ball just get stuck at the top of the table. That was pure balance, and probably never to be repeated ever again. Fluke, I think, is the word I'm looking for. But if you want to while away a few hours with some friends, grab a couple of beers and have a go at this game. It'll keep you entertained for a long time. And, you know, the fact you can have up to 8 players, how many games do that, let's be honest. Normally if you've got joypads, you're looking about four players, and then you've got online, but this was like before a time of online. I think like bulletin boards existed, and there was a modem function, I think, but we're not talking very fast here. So to have a few people gathered around your TV screen playing some pinball together, what a great idea. Yeah, I like the tables. The tables are fun, each one very unique, and we're going to be looking at the next one shortly. I didn't mean to do 2 players on this one, by the way. I misclicked, but never mind. I thought I'd done it on the previous table, but no. This was the table that I didn't just must have hit F2 instead of F1, which that's how you select how many players you want, by the way. The F keys. And it's very cold in here today, by the way. I don't know if it's cold where you guys are, but it's fairly chilly in this office today. What other Amiga games would you like to see on the channel? Just so I know, because I will try and hunt them down. I've got things like Indiana Jones: The Fate of Atlantis and Beneath a Steel Sky. They're coming up on the channel at some point. I need to invest some time in those though, so please bear with me. But I'd like to hear what games you enjoyed playing, and there may be games I haven't played yet, but I'll certainly play them and review them and do playthroughs and walkthroughs, whatever you guys want. This is as much your channel as it is mine, so your feedback is paramount. And this table's taking ages, but I am on ball. There we go. I've now lost all my lives. I've lost all my balls on player 1. So let's just get rid of my player 2, and then we can look at the last table, which is a spooky one. Which I always quite like the spooky ones. There we go. All done. You'll see as well, it's quite easy to get into the millions on the scoreboards. Oh, this section here, by the way, you can get yourself an extra ball, which I think might have just happened there. Yeah, so yeah, you can get extra ball and continue play if you're lucky. Now, there's nothing you do about that. It is pure luck. So once you've lost all your balls, I really hate saying that, but once you've lost all of your chances, shall we say, then that little thing will appear at the top of the screen, and if it matches up, then you will get an extra ball, and you can continue your score and hopefully not lose another ball quite so quick. But I do want to show you the last table, so I'm just going to get rid of it. So here we are. What are your thoughts of this game so far? Did you ever play this? I need to know, because you know, I've played these games before. I have an opinion. So if you haven't played these games before, what are your thoughts on seeing it for the first time? If this is the first time you've seen it. If you actually owned it in the day, what were your thoughts on it then? Is it any different now to how you remember it being? It's certainly stuck in my memory that this is exactly how I remember it being, which is great. And that looks very phallic, I have to say. It's a bit naughty. But never mind. This table is great. It's a couple of nods there to Ghostbusters as well. There's a bit sort of Slimer type character there. And but the one thing about this game and all the other pinball games is that they are just paramountly fun. And fun is the key to a good game. It's not graphics, it's not sound. It's mainly playability. I mean, the ZX Spectrum had loads of games that were very, very simplistic because they had to be, and they were as fun as you can ever play. So the fact this has got all the elements that you'd need for a decent game. It just goes to show, really, that the Amiga had the potential and the ability to have every aspect of a game that you needed to enjoy it. Now this had great sound, great music, great graphics, nice colour schemes, and the playability factor is just and the replay factor are absolutely bang on the money. And talking of money, I'm trying to remember how much this actually was. I think it was something like $29.99, I think. About right for an Amiga AAA title, I think. So yeah, about 30 quid roughly, if I remember rightly. Please correct me if you guys remember how much these games actually were. That'd be interesting to find out. But I would imagine £25 to £30 would have been about acceptable at the time for this kind of game. This would have been a big box game, not a small cardboard box. This would have been a big, generously sized one with, I think, three discs, I think. Now the original Pinball Fantasies came on 3 discs, but was limited to 1 megabyte Amigas, and then they released another version with 4 discs, so you could play it on 512. So that was a nice idea. So they had the right idea of not excluding other Amiga owners. But there you go. Anyway, guys, this has been Pinball Fantasies AGA on the Amiga 1200. Hope you enjoyed it, and I shall be back very soon with a brand new review. Thanks for sticking with me. It's been a bit of a longer one than usual. You keep it retro, and I'll catch you next time. Bye for now, folks!